Hi, I'm Peyton,
And I'm Chelsea.
and
States away.
this only took 8 years to start recording.
Yeah, and I haven't even tried my coffee yet, and I'm like really excited because it smells like heaven. Okay, it smells like it came out today. The Starbucks has the cherry. Oh my God. I don't even know if I want to drink it because I just want to keep smelling it.
Well, I thought it was lavender. It looked lavender.
But it's pink. It does look like that, like it from far away. And considering that the cherry is new, I would have thought it was lavender too, honestly, because they've had lavender before. But it's and like there's like
Well,
I don't know if you there's stuff on top.
I got an email that they're like the lavender's back. So,
Well, yeah, the lavender is they've had it like in the past years, but the cherry is new. But I got a vanilla latte iced with this stuff. I'm gonna try it. Ready?
I'm ready.
It's good, but it's very interesting. I don't really know what to make of it. I'll make the decision as I drink it throughout the show.
Um, I want to make sure. Okay, we are. I was like, I want to make sure I'm recording. Um, it took so long to start this because I live with people and they were making dinner, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna move to my car. We'll just keep them on their toes because you guys literally never know where I'm gonna be next.
I've
So
been in like two places, and Peyton just travels the world.
we should like do a poll, like where am I gonna be?
You
Uh,
should start coming up with the most outlandish stuff. Like today I'm in my car because I'm backpacking through Europe or something ridiculous.
Today I'm at Dollar Tree because nowhere else was quiet. I'm going to Dollar Tree next to get ice cream because priorities.
And on a budget.
Yeah. And it's close. I don't want to drive all the way somewhere. Although Dairy Queen has like these ice cream like cupcakes. They're so good.
I'm sorry, what?
They're just like little mini ice cream cakes, but they call them
I didn't take note of
cupcakes.
my birthday.
But they call them cupcakes, and I really want one of those, but
Sounds so good.
I'm just not. I'm not driving all the way there for that. So it's not that far. I just
No, I feel that though. I hate
rather not.
it. So today's order of business though, Sabrina Carpenter, because I was at work today and I was not able to be involved in the process. But Peyton and our friend Davina were fighting the Great War on Ticketmaster for Sabrina Carpenter tickets, which did not end in our favor. Um,
It
well, I
could
guess
have ended in our favor if we wanted to spend $400 on a nosebleed ticket, but that's a no from me.
yeah.
So I don't even even if you guys wanted those tickets, I don't have that much money in my bank account to buy that many tickets.
And I would never in a million years have I expected you to like grab a $400 ticket for me. I'd have been like sending you $600 so I could like interest. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, no, I would be like, okay, you need to send me the money now because I don't have that much money in my bank. Like,
how
no.
much were they when you got them before? Because you already went.
Yeah, my club level, which were like 200 level nosebleed-ish tickets, um, they were $130 a ticket. When I was looking at club level today, um, they were and this club level is closer than the club level that I was on, but they were $500 a ticket.
I don't understand. Did she increase her prices to like I'm like increase your price not different than tripling them, quadrupling them, whatever the math is on that.
Yeah,
That's insane.
they they had dynamic pricing turned on, which means like as the demand increases, like the prices increase. And that's what happened for like the first Ticketmaster sale for Taylor, and they eventually shut it off. Well, dynamic pricing wasn't on the first time around. Like, so I don't know. Like, but like Sabrina's team gets to decide that, I think. So, yeah, that felt a little icky to me. But but
Yeah.
from what I know, Taylor didn't know that they were on, like it was on. Like Ticketmaster just knew that this was going to be a high demand thing, and so that's why they like added to it, and that's why there were like lawsuits and whatever with it. Um,
Uh, that makes sense.
but yeah, I don't know if it was meant to be on today or not, but it was on, and so it was $500 a ticket.
If I make it someday and I'm going on tour, and I sit there like, you know what a really good idea would be? To do dynamic pricing. I want you to beat the crap out of me. I
I
want you to knock some sense into me. Even if you still live states away and you have to fly here to do it. Fly here to do it. And do
well,
it physically.
yeah, well, tickets were like literally like they ranged from 50 to $600. Like that's what their original price range was supposed to be, and instead they ranged from like 500 to $700. Like it was so ridiculous.
Yogurt on my freaking neck. I'm eating too aggressively.
Yeah, it was so ridiculous. Oh,
That's insane because we didn't even like I don't I don't remember how much our tickets to see Taylor Swift actually ended up being, but I can pretty much guarantee they weren't like $500 a pop. That
oh,
never would have happened.
oh my gosh, this connection is so unstable. Um, anyways, yeah, our Taylor Swift floor seats were $400 a ticket. Our floor seats.
See, for your tickets to be more expensive than Taylor Swift's, either there's something wrong in the system or there's something wrong up here.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know if it was necessarily Sabrina setting it up or if it was her team setting it up or Ticketmaster set it up. But
that is
like I don't want to conclusively say what happened, but all I know is like the I think someone on Twitter I was reading about it or X, whatever it's called. It said like the first 5 rows or 10 rows or something of like each section had oh goodness gracious, dynamic pricing turned on, and then like the rest didn't. So of course those tickets like went faster because no one wanted to pay $500 for a nosebleed seat. And so then by the time like people were actually starting to like get in there, then it like those were the only things left. And like you can get cheaper tickets on StubHub right now. I don't know what is going on with my eyebrow. You can get cheaper tickets on StubHub right now than you can um like than you could on Ticketmaster.
I honestly can't think of a single person ever that I think it would be reasonable to spend $500 for nosebleed seats for that concert.
Yeah. And she was good live, but I don't think I could justify that. Like even Taylor, I mean our maybe Taylor, but like our lower bowl seats, the first time we went were like we bought resale, like my mom went and like met the girl and whatever. They were 700, which is still ridiculous. I'm not gonna pretend it isn't. But like that's more of like a once in a lifetime thing. Like,
That's a big deal because that's like Taylor Swift Eras Tour.
well, and that's the thing. My mom was like, if this was like the rep tour or something, there was no way I would have paid that much to see it. And like the rep tour was good, don't get me wrong. And like whatever, but
I'm so sad that I didn't get to see that tour.
I know. Me too, but like I wouldn't pay $700. But like I've never seen Taylor Swift in my life, so the fact that she was then touring all of her albums was like a huge deal.
I'm still not quite over the fact though that Debut didn't actually get an era on the Eras Tour because that's my favorite one. And
Well,
I am so sad that I never got to see anything from that era live. So when I was like hearing about the Eras Tour, I was like, oh my gosh, I get to see all of her like early stuff that I loved so much. And I could hear some of that like cool
mhm.
stuff. Like, can you imagine if she did Picture to Burn?
Yeah.
I would have like I would have cried and screamed and just like I would have just been dead.
Yeah.
But I'm still here because it didn't happen. So
Well, she played You're on Your Own Kid the day after my show, so I'm still here too, but
yeah, and I never I'm still salty about the TTPD being added later thing too because all of us missed that. I mean, you got to go again, but like you're like extremely lucky for that. Like
Mhm.
that's not, you know, all
And
of us paid to go, but
yeah,
we're getting the Eras tour.
yeah, but like I don't. But I feel like every artist does that at this point, so like it sucks. But in
That's what people
art,
halfway through their tour.
yeah. I mean, that's part of the reason why Sabrina's tour is so popular right now because she announced Short and Sweet Deluxe. That's why Gracie's prices went up because she announced The Secret of Us Deluxe. Like that's part of the reason because they're like that's why Olivia Rodrigo's tickets went up. That's also part of the reason why they're wrapping back around to the US instead of going to the US and going to Europe and Asia and whatever and being done. No, that's why they're wrapping around so they can tour that part of the album that they didn't originally perform.
Yeah, and I mean, and I get that they're doing that, but it's also a lot different than adding a whole new album to an Eras tour. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like, I don't know. No one's ever
I
done it
worry.
before, so
That's kind of like and it makes me wonder. Did she add Tortured Poets Department to the tour towards the end when she was touring in a few other places? And is she planning on doing a smaller Tortured Poets Department tour just in the US later? Because would you not want to benefit from doing a full tour dedicated to that era?
yeah,
You
but
know,
I feel like that I part of me thinks that that what I need to formulate a thought. Um, she brought a lot of people in to be Swifties when the Eras tour started because they were like, "Oh my gosh, I can go see Taylor Swift and people will think I'm cool." Like that's what a lot of her like newer fan base came in from. And not
mm,
necessarily like them thinking they're cool, but like part of it, yes. And so part of me wonders if she thinks that like the Torture Poets department like as a tour wouldn't do that great. Like I don't know if it would necessarily do that great because it is a deep album and it's also not necessarily like a touring album because most of the songs are sad if we're being honest.
well, and that is true. But I feel like if I mean like the way that she did it for the Eras tour, I feel like if she expanded on that more, there could have been some cool stuff done with it. But I do see your point about it too. That is tough. That's where the other day Actually, yesterday. Um, I was I was at school and I was subbing in the middle school, so I really wasn't doing anything except just sitting there and like watching them
Mm-hmm.
do their work. So I was just sitting there. And so I was like writing stuff down in my books. I have like a notebook dedicated to all of my original songs where when I finish a song, I put like a final copy of the lyrics in there, and it's like a solid compiled record of all of my original songs that are complete. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like adding a few in that I haven't added yet and stuff like that. And I was done with that and I was like, now what? So I was like, I'll go through my book and I'll try to compile like a list for like an album. And I was trying to think of like what would be good for an album. And one of the things I always have noticed and loved about Taylor Swift's albums is that she does have a tendency to do like a pattern back and forth between a more upbeat song and then a sad, slow song. Upbeat, slow, upbeat, slow.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a pretty good pattern. And I also see like the depth. Like I feel like as it goes on, it gets like deeper, like the emotions are deeper. They're like her more dramatic songs, maybe the ones with more of a bridge, like just some of the songs that like I end up liking more, that I connect more with. Like for example, mine versus Haunted and
Mm-hmm.
like Last Kiss might have been like further down the list than like mine was the first one, or like
Yeah.
Sparks Fly,
Mm-hmm.
compared to like whatever. And so like I was trying to keep all of that in mind, and I was like, shoot, like I've got like 20 something songs here that are like solid songs, but I'm not loving this formation for an album. I need to get my shit together here. Like I need an upbeat song, but I don't know. I suck at writing. I think because I suck at writing about happy things. Like when Taylor Swift said that she had an existential crisis because somebody asked her, "What would you do if you were happy someday?" Same. Same. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Happiest song I've written, I don't like. Even ones that I play out all over the place. I'm like, yeah, you guys kind of like it, but I kind of hate it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of hate it. But yeah. Um,
It's
I don't
tough.
know. I just feel like the Torture Poets Department, yes, it did have upbeat songs, but most of the album is very like chill and sad and like yes, there are people who would go see it, and I think it would have to be something like the Lover Fest, like where it would only be like a couple dates or whatever, but like I just can't, like, I don't necessarily see her doing it as much as I want her to. I just don't see her doing that.
Well, and that's kind of what I was thinking too, is like if she did something, like what if she was going to do something along the lines of kind of like a lover fest, like do a few shows here and there, like it were I probably wouldn't even get to go because it probably would be like in
LA.
state. Well, even if it was like in my state, but like not in the right town, because I won't travel the 4 hours that it takes to get to the city where like people usually come. Like if they're not coming to both, they're coming there. They don't come here first and foremost for whatever reason.
Yeah,
So,
well, Chicago gets people if they're doing a big tour, but if they're doing like a comeback, like a loop around, like a wrap around, they never go to Chicago. Um,
I'll remember to always go to Chicago just for you.
Yeah, because people love it here. No, just kidding. Chicago's like huge. Like people, I don't know, people just don't realize like how big it actually is. But
I'm surprised people don't go to Chicago because Chicago's like one of the the big places.
yeah,
It's not
and they
that.
go when they have their big tour and like go the first time, but they don't like wrap around, which makes sense because you don't necessarily want to go to cities that like you've already been to. But like most of the time, like they sell out the Chicago like shows, so I don't know. But like if she did do a torture poets department, I'm guessing it would be New York, LA, somewhere in like the middle of the United States. I don't know. What's in the
Yeah,
middle? Nashville, like something like
yeah.
that. Like I feel like it wouldn't be anywhere that like I mean, I could technically travel to Nashville, but it wouldn't be anywhere like close to me. Or you, even for that matter. But yeah, like when Gracie Abrams came around like the second time, I could have got tickets the first time, but it was either Gracie or Sabrina, and I had to pick one. And I was like, oh. And I just wasn't into as Gracie as much as I am now, like at the time. And so I was like, okay, like I'll go see Sabrina. And then now I'm like, oh, I wish I got to see her. But now she's like wrapping around New York and whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, I feel like weirdly enough, like for a musician and a singer who's been in love with music for as long as I can even remember, I've never wanted, like, I've never sat there thinking, man, I really, really want to go see this artist live, except for Taylor Swift. Now, I think part of that is because to me, it never seemed like it was a thing that was actually possible. So for like, I just never really even considered it. It always seemed so far off into the future that I literally would be like, yeah, well, maybe someday when I'm rich and famous, I can afford to go to a concert. Because it wasn't like in our realm of like affordability or just
Well,
something that we really could do. Never even thought about it. But now
that's
that like I'm more aware of that stuff and I have a more wide range of like what I listen to and I am like now that I've gotten to see live music and understand just how great it is, I think I pretty much go to see freaking anything, but I
yeah.
don't ever get to go see like anything.
Yeah, well, that's how it was when I was younger. I mean, like we barely had any money. Um, and so when I was little, I mean, I've talked about this on here before, but like I was like constantly asking my parents like, "Can we go see Taylor Swift? Can we go see Taylor Swift?" And it was like we don't like we can't afford that right now, like it's too expensive, or normally it would be like too it's too expensive, or like she's not coming near us, which I feel like probably was a lie. But you know, like just because I mean I've been asking since I was literally like I mean I've listened to her since I was 2, so like forever. And yeah, and so like I didn't start going to concerts until I was like 13, and that was to see Imagine Dragons, and then there was like a break, and then like more recently like we started going again, but like I don't know. It just never was something that I really got to do, and then I'm like, okay, well now that I can, like I'm gonna do this. Like
Well, and that's where like I've been trying to start looking into stuff more recently, like when I see stuff, and Spotify is nice because Spotify tends to let me know when someone's going on tour. I don't always like see the stuff to like know that someone's going on tour.
yeah.
Like now I try to pay attention, but like I said, a lot of times when I see something, like I saw the Rascal Flats were doing something, but I think by the time I knew it was happening, it was too late. And
Hmm.
I'm not even sure they were coming to my city. And like a lot of times then that's the thing is they're not coming to my city. And I just don't have the time or, the money or someone to go with me even or any of that. Like I just it's not possible for me to go on like a road trip or like travel for that. I've got
Yeah.
just way too many like responsibilities and stuff. And I also just don't like I don't feel comfortable enough to drive that far. There's only somebody who could drive me there that I
Mhm.
would like go with, that
Yeah.
like would be able to like it's just, you know. So it's still a little bit of a pipe dream of like someday when I'm famous I can go to all the concerts and I can sit up there and I can be on the news like Josie Biel was at this concert. I wonder why. And I'm gonna be over there like I love music. It's not for any reason. I just love being here. And they're gonna be like, maybe she's doing this. Maybe she's that. Maybe she's dating the drummer. I don't know. And I'm gonna be like, what?
Poor Connor's over there, like, what the actual heck? Like, you're leaving me for someone's drummer.
Like it's gonna be on the news like, oh my gosh, is there trouble in paradise? Why is she just at all these random concerts all by herself? Like, doesn't she have a date? I'm gonna be like, No, I just really like music, and I've never heard of this band before, but I
What
have
do you
money.
mean? What do you mean you don't have a date? I am right here.
You're right. I'm
Connor's
done.
just gotta accept that he's the third wheel in our marriage.
I mean, he's gotta get over it eventually.
Yeah.
I'm
If he
surprised he's not over it already. I mean, like, I mean, you're a theater kid. You're supposed to be in support of all this stuff. Why are you?
Yeah, what's your issue?
He goes,
What's your problem with me, Connor?
he's not allowed to speak. He can't even defend himself.
Good.
We
We went into this talking about Sabrina Carpenter and then we just talked about everyone.
literally talked about anything but Sabrina Carpenter. So,
Yeah,
your favorite Sabrina Carpenter song?
yeah, mine? Oh gosh. I don't know.
Me neither. I was like actually dreading you asking me the question back because I realized I have no idea what mine is.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that. I'll update the Instagram,
Ugh.
which I haven't been doing, but it's fine.
I do think like I hear so many people talking about how like people legit think that she just kind of like came out of nowhere and is suddenly famous. And then there's people over here like guys, she's been like chugging along with this for like 10 years. Like
Yeah,
she's been here for a while.
yeah,
What do you mean?
they're literally like blaming it on Taylor Swift and being like, "Oh, she made her like famous." Like, no.
No, she's been working her butt off for it for a very long time and
Yeah.
has deserved it for a very long time. Like, I mean, she was on Disney Channel and then, like, I mean, she's one of the very few Disney artists who didn't, like, go AWOL. I mean,
Yeah.
she was a little bit hypersexual, which is an interesting, thing, but, like, let's not forget Miley Cyrus. Demi Lovato fell off the deep end a little bit too, like her, like mentally for a while she wasn't doing
But
so good. She's been
I
like,
don't even necessarily think she's falling off the deep end. I think this is just her brand now. Like,
well, like she's had like a lot of mental health problems and stuff like that. Like she had issues. I mean, she has a song about it even. Like she really has gone through a lot. I think it
yeah.
seems like she's starting to kind of like figure it out and level out, maybe. From what I can tell, I
Mhm.
don't pay enough attention, but I know that for a long time she was like not in a good place. So, like, there's not. I mean, so many people either. I mean, you see it a lot with child stars anyway, that usually the fame kind of does something to them from a young age because you're not growing up normal, so it does
Mhm.
mess you up a little bit. And then they get kind of, and they have like too much money for a young person to
Yeah.
have, don't really have a full, like, fully developed brain.
Yeah.
So they end up doing really dumb stuff. And then they end up in really bad places, and you just see it a lot. So honestly, like she's been kicking butt
Yeah.
because she started on Disney and she's managed to separate herself from that childhood image slowly, maturely, properly, and professionally by just chugging along and being herself, which I really, really applaud.
Yeah. Well, and the fact like I watched Girl Meets World, for example, like literally all the time. Like me and my family would sit down and watch it like every time it came out, like every day it came out, like whatever. Um, but like in my brain, that Sabrina Carpenter and this Sabrina Carpenter are not the same thing.
You know what? Yeah, I feel the same way about Dove Cameron.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Descendants and Liv and Maddie Dove Cameron is simply not the same person. She doesn't even talk the same. She hardly looks the same. I mean,
Mm,
I think she's gotten a little bit of work done. Her hair is not blonde anymore. I think brown is her natural color, is it not?
I think so,
But I
yeah.
think she also dyed it darker. I don't know what she did. But I don't think her hair was naturally blonde. I think she went blonde,
Mhm.
around then and it became like her image. So like,
Oh God.
you know, oh shit.
Well, we can continue this next week.
Yeah. No,
Part
but you know what? Her music is cool though. I feel like every time she releases something, she sounds a lot different, and it's neat that she's got that variety. I like that.
Okay. We love you all so much. We did not expect this to.
Yeah, we're about to run out of time on Zoom, so
Yeah, and
bye.
we
We love
all
you.
have stuff to do. Bye. Mwah. Well, we can continue this next week. So come back for part two.
Yeah. Part two next week. Follow up. Mwah.
Okay.